Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Thursday. It's March 5th, 2026. Hope you're doing so amazing today. Just coming on to give a quick message. Quick is relative. But that's my intention. And I hope that you're doing, I did say that already, but I do truly hope that all is well with anyone that's tapping in at this time. As you see, I'm using my gold cards today, just trying to keep the vibes fluid. Let's see what we got. King of Cups. Ooh. King of Cups. I realize sometimes it gets dark down low with these cards. And there's something here. I'm not going to take it, but let's see. Ooh, Five of Pentacles. And what's this peeking out? Judgment. Ooh. Five of Pentacles. And then the trash truck is outside. Lord, what's to this King of Cups? So what was it? Five of Pentacles, Judgment, and what was that? Something else. Was that it? I think that was, oh Lord, Nine of Swords. Someone could be unwell, or maybe they could have received some type of prognosis of a bad prognosis of their wellness, particularly, whether it be financially, medically, psychologically. But it's the King of Cups, so I don't know. It's like maybe they're just trying to. Okay, so whatever news someone may have received, or foreshadowing, or again, prognosis, prediction, whatever has been received, they're doing their best to kind of keep their composure and not show any signs of distress or despair, or they're just trying to keep their composure so not to tip the scales even further out of their favor. You know, like make the situation worse, emotionally or psychologically. Let's see. What's up with this King of Cups? Maybe they could be waiting for a second opinion. That's what I heard. And that's where the maintenance of composure takes in, or maybe waiting to hear or waiting to maybe see how a treatment works out, or waiting to see what better solutions they may come across that would improve the diagnosis or the prognosis. Damn, all right. so loud. But whatever it is, it's like they're kind of at the mercy of, or at least they may feel like they're at the mercy of some other source of relief or information or expertise or mercy. Maybe so. They're at the mercy of something. Did I already say at the mercy? I think I did. They're at the mercy of some mercy. I don't know. Could be the Judgment card. Something pretty strong. 9 of Wands. Yeah, maybe hoping for some new burst of energy or some type of regeneration, a cure maybe, or remedy. I'm getting something about a remedy with the Knight of Wands. Or at least maybe an inspiration for a remedy. I'm hearing like experimental treatment or like a breakthrough type of treatment that is not so conventional, but might be like a hope, for a cure or for a cure or for some type of chance of wellness, like getting better, or maybe even relieving the symptoms or the circumstances that they're experiencing. Maybe something a bit maybe not miraculous, but what's the word? Like something. I can't hear it. I hope you don't hear my stomach. Oh yeah, I got all types of things. It's not. It could be miraculous, but I feel like it's something else, like breakthrough, like where there's not necessarily a guarantee that it will take or it will work or it'll be effective, but it's there's a chance. It could be a lucky break, or it's something revolutionary that that either someone is hoping will come along, or that they're having to again invest their hope into, because otherwise there's not a promising outlook. Is not maybe as much of a promising outlook without it. Yeah, the King of Swords here. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to lift it up. Not like you don't know what the King of Swords is, but I just hate how dark it is with these cards on the table. Which is, dang, you hear that horn? Yeah, this is an emergency situation. And the hope and prayer is that, there can be trust invested in whatever this is. Like someone would want to be able to invest their trust in the efficacy of whatever this treatment or remedy or solution is, like wholeheartedly, even as they still try to keep some type of they want to keep an optimistic view, but they also are realistic. So it's like a tug of war between their brightest optimism and just the logistics of the situation at hand. and still trying to maintain like some sense of enthusiasm and you know, like optimism for sure. And like the the best case scenario perspective. Let's see. Judgment again. My goodness. I mean, this could be really, like I said, is somebody that's at the mercy of mercy, you know, particularly unto the divine or supreme source, or, you know, universal order, whatever is written, whatever has been decided beyond their control at this point. Of course, it doesn't hurt to stay optimistic, to stay hopeful, to stay open for breakthrough, for a miracle. And here, the judgment here could be another chance, a regeneration, a resurrection altogether. Like somebody could have been, or could be looking at a bleak prognosis, and then here it is, maybe a second chance, or it could go the other way. That's why I said somebody's literally at the mercy of mercy. Let me see what's on the other side of judgment. The world. Something's ended. Let me see what's on the other side of the world, because it could. I don't know, it's given that someone may really just have to face the reality of their situation for what has already been determined, you know, like whatever it is that they may be dealing with at this time, regardless of any. Perhaps this would not be my best case scenario that I would project onto this, but with the world, is something about, I don't know, this is one after like 2021. It's like something is done, complete. And it may not matter what breakthroughs or so-called miracles are believed for, you know. I don't know. I don't even want to. Let me see what's on the other side of the world. For this situation. What was that? Page of Wands. Well, that is kind of a start over, and it could be good news. But let's see. I pop back in though. I feel like there's something hinged on how the situation is fit to turn out. Like there's something hanging in the balance, where there's all the facility set up for like a sweeping miracle or something to turn over in in a positive favor, but it could easily regress back to its bleak state if not for something, maybe someone telling the truth or being honest or some type of clarity. I don't know. There's something here that is the saving grace, so to speak. And without that, the situation is on track to turn out exactly how it looks, which the way I picked it up in the beginning is not great. But let me see. One more on the other side. It's like somebody needing to confess something or profess something or be honest about something. Maybe, I mean, this could be real primitive, but like even, say on the most human level, someone that doesn't want to be honest about something to their doctors, but that's like a key thing that would actually help them get the best treatment or put them in the best position to recover. Or they don't want to be honest about some damning aspect of their situation, but it's the key to another, a second chance or a new beginning. And it's all a matter of whether or not somebody would be willing to make that, sacrifice or submit for all that they feel it's worth, or for what, or I should say, for whatever they feel it costs them, as to whether or not, as to really how they come out on the other side of this. That's interesting. Now, again, I said that's on a very basic human level, but this feels something more than that. Like maybe someone needing to really get real and get honest about who they are, so that the divine can meet them where they are, and then, usher them into some space of healing or some remedy of wholeness. But otherwise, if somebody's pretty much going to keep, saving face or keeping up a strong, a strong front, maintaining a strong front, acting like nothing's wrong, or, putting a band-aid on a gaping wound, perhaps when there's something deeper happening at the core, then that's ultimately what will be someone's demise, and they'll ultimately be taking that ailment or that dis-ease into a new cycle, as to carry that out as their new beginning. And when we think about from the Knight to the what I saw was the Page of Wands, what that could look like practically is that there is some remedy for survival, but that you could have to live with something or some pain or discomfort for the rest of your life on account of that resistance to holistic healing. We could even really be talking about holistic healing and someone being willing, to try something breakthrough or different from the conventional. But it would be a pushback on their ideals, or even their sense of security and what they already know. But whatever this is, that Page of Wands may be a limited good news that you'll survive, but with a great deal of pain, or some thorn in your side for a whole nother season, a cycle, or maybe even a lifetime. So it's like really someone needing to weigh their priorities for the long run, like what is palatable immediately, or feel secure in the short run may not yield the long-term results for recovery, for healing, for wholeness. One more. That was a Two of Cups. Popping in and popping out. Yeah, somebody needs to recommit themselves to something pure, or to pure love and devotion within themselves. Like really reestablishing, you know, maybe a new commitment to their health. Or establishing a new commitment, or reestablishing a commitment to their health, to their well-being, whatever that even means. Because it could be physical, again, it could be mental, it could be psychological, it could be spiritual. All right, I'm gonna do one more to get one more card, and then I'm out of here. Ooh, that was a Death card. I felt that energy, though. I knew it was going to show itself. But it popped back, so there it is. There's still a chance. There's still hope. King of Wands. Yeah, to do something different. There's a lot of guys out here, right? Everybody but the King of Pentacles. Every king, I should say, but the King of Pentacles. This could be, you know, on a grander scheme, talking about the patriarchy and how, you know, there is a need for change and transformation all around, like a 360 makeover of the patriarchy force, you know, energetically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, creatively. Like there needs to be some type of revolutionized, is that a word? Perspective or makeover in a sense of maybe core values and ideals and ambitions and things, or there's going to be a grave detriment to the lower frequency of that population, and that's men or women. Like that's men that subscribe to old patriarchal ideals that are outdated and you know, are not productive and prosperous, and women that may, you know, champion those ideals as well, or submit to them freely, willingly, surrender, I say, to them willingly. Like anybody can get it, you know, so it's like really a call to allow the transformation for the highest good to really take place as completely as it possibly can, from the depths to the, you know, to the soul, to the mind, to the body, you know, to, you know, the passion, the kinetic force of a person, everything is is in operation, I suppose, or like in recovery, or is in need of recovery, to survive in this new era that is upon us. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna go any deeper on that, because on the practical scale, it's saying what it's saying, like, and on a grander scale, it makes sense. It's just like you just can't, old mindsets about how creation is supposed to get along, or how things should either stay the same or evolve for, ulterior motives, are unhealthy, and they're not sustainable for anyone. So if you're going to continue to carry on those habits because you're used to it, or because it's comfortable, or you don't want to be exposed, or whatever, like whatever it is that is being held on to, could be ultimately the death of some energies, whether that be death of success, or ending of success, ending of profitability, prosperity, ending of an era of power, and dominance. There's a great loss to be suffered for those that resist the natural change that is happening by the decree of universal ordinance. This is not something to be argued with, or to push back on, or to find a way to play the system. Like, this system can't be played. It can't be manipulated that way. Like, you either with it or you not. And it'll be quite evident who is and who isn't. That's the other thing. In this season, or in this era, you won't be able to like hide behind illusions, or delusions for that matter. Let's see. Yeah, Six of Pentacles, what goes around come. Ooh, Six of Pentacles, Six of Cups. Yeah, what goes around comes around. And, there has to be an atonement for what has gone around. But how that gets to be is in total submission to the highest good, to the greatest good. Because really the hard part is the change and the transformation for those that have been used to life going a certain type of way, or things, the conventions of creation that we've all been either conditioned by, or that we've all contributed to, and then maybe in some ways helped to create. There has to be a balancing of those, of that disharmony, and how you fare is dependent on the personal truth that you submit to, and I guess the personal, like, the identity within that change that you profess. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there. 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups has been coming out a lot. Something from the past is, like I said, I feel like it's just something being, it's imbalances of the past that have persisted for a very long time to almost, be a way of life or the way of truth that we all subscribe to in some way, shape, or form. That's being realigned. That's getting a makeover, which is really nothing too profound, because we know that. Even those that are resistant to that know that. But I don't think it's quite sunken in, or maybe it's starting to, the penalty or the consequence for maintaining an opposition against that evolution, whether it's by way of people, by way of circumstances, against yourself, against mindsets or ideals that either just don't make sense or do, whatever the case may be. It's like you're not going to be able to force feed yourself illusions anymore, and certainly not going to be able to force feed anyone else your illusions, or I should say force feed your own delusions, or force feed others illusions. It's just, it is what it is now. And if you're not going to live, if you can live in whatever the truth, like I said earlier, you can live in the truth that you are championing, that you insist upon championing, whether it's proven to be productive or positive or not. And the universe will allow that if the mercy and grace is there to allow you to live it out. But there'll be a thorn in the side till the end of your days. Like there'll never be the luxury of finding comfort and stability and even satisfaction in illusions anymore, or in false truths or half truths. It's like everything's being revealed, and revelation is a gift to everyone at this time, depending on how you receive it. And if you reject it, so be it. But there seems to be a grave consequence to pay, maybe a definite grave consequence, if you feel me. Which would really suck, for that person, because what it does is like keeps any potential of a regeneration, particularly of the legacy beyond you, or after you, I should say, or even how your legacy continues to thrive, in spirit or in flesh. It keeps it contained. Like if you're going to be stuck in an era that's no longer effective or in effect, it's like your spirit will be chained to that time. And once that's done, like that'll be the end of you. There won't be anything left behind of great value or remembrance to really covet, or celebrate. It's like, I don't know why I'm getting that, but it's, it's like you'll just be dust in the wind. And what an unfortunate existence. And that could happen, physically, carnally speaking, where there's nothing of value of you really to be passed down to the next generation, because there's such a disparity in understanding and connection that nobody really cares to keep the memory alive or keep your essence alive in some way, shape, or form, let alone if we're talking about actual, because we do have the judgment card in the world, actual physical incarnation, where it could be the end of the line for you, where if you had chosen otherwise, you might have had a second chance to incarnate with all the knowledge that you have acquired, you know, to make some different choices or leave a different mark, you know. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave it there though, because it's definitely not anything that I can see you know, a verdict or a settlement in through these cards. Is very personal, and each person's like outcome is being weighed by on the scale of you know, their heart. So if the heart is heavy, then the burden will be heavy, and how that plays out doesn't either way doesn't really have a positive outlook. But you know, if you can loosen up some of that baggage and lighten your load in all the ways that the divine desires for you to do so anyway, you know, just a fresh perspective, a clear eye, particularly your first eye, then there's a much greater chance of not just survival, but thrival in the era to come, and maybe in, you know, in the eternity to come, if that is such a thing, which I guess we won't know until we know. But you'd hate to be the one that didn't believe or didn't perceive and didn't achieve, and then get to the end of the road and realize like you were the only reason why some promise or potential, at least, of eternal life or abundant life was forfeited. Yeah. Sacrificed. Hangman energy. All right. I'm going to leave it there. Sorry. Until next time, as always, I'll leave you with peace.